Hi, my name is David, and it is my pleasure to present to you this video today on how to operate your irrigation control timers. We understand that many of you have never operated an irrigation timer before, but we assure you that it's easy, and by the time you're finished with this short video, you will understand everything you need to know about operating your timer. Let's move on to what we will cover in the video. In this video, we will cover the clock overview, setting your date and time, setting program start times, setting station run times, setting watering days, and other important features. For this portion of the video, we're going to show you the layout of your irrigation control timer. You know, what the buttons are and what they do, so that as we go through this video, things will make a little more sense to you. Before I do that, I'd like to point out this little card that should be in each one of the doors of your irrigation control timers. This gives you the opportunity to write down your stations, where they are, and the programming you have for them. Another huge feature is here on the other side, where you have your cheat sheet. Everything I'm going to discuss in this video is in writing on this cheat sheet inside the door of your irrigation control timer. Please read that actually before you watch this video. It will clarify a lot of things for you. Moving on, we have the dial. Throughout the video, we'll turn this dial to different positions for different settings, but this changes the setting that we're going to change at any given time. Up here we have the plus arrow, the plus and the minus buttons that are used sort of like an alarm clock, where you can set the time higher or lower, more minutes, less minutes, that sort of thing through the programming. And these arrows are to move forward or move back during certain stages of the programming. This last button here, PRG, changes the program between programs A, B, and C. Do not worry about that button. We're only going to work in program A. And that's the layout for your control timer. First, we need to set the date and time so the clock knows when to operate. To do this, turn the dial to Set Current Date and Time. The first thing you will see is the year. Use the plus or minus keys to set the year where it should be. When you have done this, press the right arrow to move on. Set the month the same way you set the year, and once again, press the right arrow. Repeat this process for the day, hour, and minute. Once you've done that, you have successfully set the date and time on your irrigation clock. The program start time is the time of day when your watering schedule is set to begin. We will only work in program A, the factory default, so make sure the display always shows program A. If for some reason it shows program B or C, press the program button to get it back to program A. With the dial set to Set Program Start Times, you are ready to begin. It's easy. Just push the plus or minus buttons until you get to the start time you desire. If you need to set a second start time, press the right arrow to change the display to 2 and set that start time. And that's it. A couple of notes concerning your start time. Each press of the button will move in 15-minute intervals. Pay attention to whether or not you are working in AM or PM when setting the start time. To turn off a start time, hit the plus or minus buttons until the display reads off, which will occur at midnight. Before you set the watering times for each station, you will need two things. The first thing you will need is to know which area of your yard each station covers. Second, you will need a watering schedule ready so you can program the appropriate times for each station. Turn the dial to Set Station Run Times. Look at the display and make sure you are working in Program A. Use the plus or minus buttons to set the desired runtime for the station that's displayed. Then press the right arrow to move to the next station. Notice we are now in Station 2. Repeat this process for all your stations. Any stations left at 0 minutes are considered off. Turn the dial to Set Days to Water. Once that's done, you will see on the display all the days of the week. The computer automatically begins with Monday, and you know that because there's a blinking water droplet above the day. To set watering for that day, simply press the plus button. If you do not want the computer to water that day, press the minus button. After you press the button, the computer automatically moves to the next day. Continue this process for every day the way you would like it. Here we have programmed Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We know that because there are water droplets above those days. Where there are no water droplets, those days do not receive water. To set the clock to automatically run the programming that you have set, turn the dial vertically to the run position. To turn your timer off, turn the dial to the system off position. One thing to note about your sprinkler system is that when your program start time arrives, only one station will turn on at that time. When that station finishes, the next station will then turn on. That sequence will continue until the entire program has ran its course. To test your stations, or to see which stations correspond with each area of your yard, turn the dial to Manual Single Station. The runtime and station number will flash on the screen. To set the time that you want, use the plus or minus buttons. To change the stations, use the right or left arrows. When set, turn the dial to Run. This will run only the stations selected for the amount of time indicated. When completed, the clock will return to normal programming. Well, we've now made it to the end of the video. By now, you should be professionals in knowing how to program your irrigation control timers. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.